F1, Superman, Jurassic World, and KSAT 12 News at 5, all playing at Santikos Casablanca Theaters. Welcome live inside that theater, where we're going to have a KSAT town hall coming up a little bit later tonight.
It's a chance for us to talk to KSAT viewers, to tell you about what we do, how we do it, and ways that our viewers want to see us do it. So we're excited to look forward to that opportunity coming up this evening. We're going to broadcast live right here from this theater. But first, we want to also mention we've got Adam Caskey with us. He's going to be doing his forecast out here as well. Who knows what's going to happen with him at a theater in a bowling alley next to us.
I know. I don't know that we want to know that.
We want to get to the headlines that we're covering here. News of the day right off the top.
Yeah, first new at 5, what was supposed to be an offer-up transaction ended up in a deadly shooting. That shooting happened in an area east of I-10, about 2 blocks south of El Monte Boulevard. Just before 3 p.m., San Antonio police say a 28-year-old man shot in the back. A woman he was with drove him to an apartment complex about 5 miles away near Babcock and Callahan, where the man ended up dying. Police have not released a description of the suspect at this time.
A Bexar County man is now facing a murder charge just days after his wife's decomposing body was found wrapped in plastic. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar calling this case grim and shocking in a news conference just about 2 hours ago.
49-year-old Charles Bird first arrested for tampering with evidence. 2 additional charges have been added to that case. The sheriff talking today, our Avery Everett was there. Avery.
The sheriff says they have a full confession, but they're still working to strengthen this case. Charles Bird is accused of brutally killing his wife. He's now sitting in the Bexar County jail behind me, facing 3 charges. So if you haven't heard of this case, we've been following it since Saturday. Video shows the scene on Pleasanton Road in far south Bexar County, where sheriff deputies discovered the body of Angela Bird. By Sunday, deputies had taken Charles into custody for tampering with evidence with intent to impair a human corpse to charge. Today, Charles was booked on a murder charge and an additional tampering with evidence charge because the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the body found was Angela's and her cause of death was homicidal violence. In an arrest affidavit we obtained, new details reveal that Charles says he strangled his wife because he thought she was cheating on him. Now, that was the day after Father's Day, June 16th. He says he kept her body in his home for about 32 days before it was discovered. He tried to wrap her in layers of materials like rugs and plastic. Again, Charles is in jail right now, but the sheriff says more arrests could come down the line.
There were some other people that we believe did aid him in evading authorities. Now, whether they did so knowingly is what we're trying to determine at this point. So I wouldn't say that we're close to arresting anybody, but I certainly would not be surprised if additional arrests happen as a result of it.
Bird's bond is currently set at $650,000. Coming up at 6, more from his confession and why it took the medical examiners days to discover and identify Angela's body. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Avery, thank you. All new here at 5, Bexar County lawmakers are now urging the TCEQ to reject the proposed wastewater permit for the Wahalote Ranch development.
Yeah, just to remind you, that plan would use a sewage treatment plant, and that would release about 1 million gallons of treated sewage into the Helotes Creek daily. The Helotes Creek then goes into the Trinity Aquifer, which helps recharge the Edwards Aquifer. A key water source for San Antonio, of course, 1.7 million people in South and Central Texas. Lawmakers warn this could harm the water supply by putting from cancer-causing chemicals to harmful bacteria back into our drinking water.
Now, the TCEQ has not approved the project yet, but the developer is already facing accusations of trespassing and property damage. A decision on the plant is expected by fall.
Let's check out traffic right now with TransGuide, and I can tell you getting out here in the Alamo Ranch area was slow going, but I think that's kind of normal for this area.
Bumper to bumper.
Yeah, as we scroll around I-37 South Cross, I-35 downtown, no major traffic tie-ups, nothing unusual to tell you about at this hour.
Another view I want to check out, Adam Caskey. He's out here where we've got a movie theater, we've got a bowling alley, we've got a crowd we're expecting later. Where is Adam now to talk about this forecast? Stephen, I said on the way in here, it is feeling so much like July.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you know, as the kids would say, July is Julying right now. That's what it's doing. We're at, actually, our high temperature so far today, 98 degrees. We found some shade out here at Santico's Casablanca. Nice little shaded area right off Elmo Ranch Parkway, 151 area. I do want to talk about a little bit of rain that happened last night and early this morning far west of San Antonio, especially Maverick County, on into Kinney County, and then northward into the hill country. Take a look at the maps full and you'll see the areas where you see the colors west of town. That's where we had a few showers. And actually, some of those downpours amounted to about 2 inches of rain, particularly in northern Kinney County. Where you see the yellow, that's where we had radar estimates of about 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. It was brief, but a good little healthy hit of rain last night. Now, skies have cleared out. It's quiet right now. We do have more rain chances to talk about starting Friday and lasting now through the entire weekend. We're going to talk about that system, where it's coming from, and who's going to see the most rain and where in just a bit.
All right, Adam, thank you. New details here at 5. Search and recovery efforts are still ongoing in the Texas Hill Country.
Yeah, it's been more than 2 weeks now since the flooding in the Hill Country that killed more than 100 people. Today, there was a meeting with the Kerr County Sheriff's Office. They confirmed only one girl from Camp Mystic and one man remained missing. Yesterday, Governor Abbott shared those details following the news that the body of a missing woman was recovered. In total, 108 people have lost their lives, 71 adults and 37 children.
And flooding is still going on after several hours now. And so far, we've heard from the Texas Department of Emergency Management, Transportation, Public Safety, and Parks and Wildlife as well.
Yeah, the Zariotes has been in that hearing since it began about 9 a.m. this morning. Here are some of the big takeaways.
Yeah, more people, more equipment, and better policies. These are the most important things coming from those state leaders who are testifying in this committee hearing today. One of the big things that we heard was from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. They did mention that they want additional personnel. Specifically, they want additional game wardens. Also, they want another helicopter. They say that they have 2 right now. They're grateful for that amount, but that 3 is the standard, because if there is an issue with one of those helicopters, they'll always have a backup. They did mention that they had that issue with a drone hitting a helicopter, and that took one of those helicopters out of the search and rescue mission for the day. And while no one was injured, that helicopter being out of service was a real, roadblock for those search and rescue and recovery efforts. Now, recommendations from the Texas Department of Emergency Management are for more communication and a smooth execution of how volunteers operate during search and rescue.
To make sure that the people in that area, in that where that flooding is occurring, do they know this is happening? Do they communicate that, and are they acknowledged that they received that information?
There is no system in place today to ensure that County Judge X or Mayor Y or Emergency Manager Z is getting the same information that we are getting from the National Weather Service.
You do see the problem with that, right?
Senator, I do.
The committee hearing is ongoing, and there are expected to be several additional meetings, including this one today that is still going on after hours. And then they are also expected to meet in Kerrville. The committee chair told us that there will not be any legislation moving forward until after they've had those meetings both here in Austin and out in Kerrville on the ground, meeting with those first responders who have been on the scene in the Hill Country since July 4th. Live at the Texas State Capitol, I'm Zaria Oates.
Yeah, thank you, Zaria. Of course, they want to hear from the people who are affected. Donations of all kinds have been pouring into the Hill Country, along with thousands of volunteers and people there to help in the search and rescue and the rebuilding. And all of those people need to be fed.
And they are being fed. But with so many donations, when it comes to food, some of it just can't be used before it goes bad. So I wanted to know what's being done to prevent waste after the disaster we've seen in the Hill Country. Here's what I found. Take a look.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
Oh my God. After the unimaginable floodwaters of July 4th came the waves of donations. People needing the basics they no longer have.
There is some waste that gets created because of so much being provided to us all at once.
The Salvation Army in Kerrville is just one of the nonprofits managing those donations. When it comes to food, what won't be eaten before it goes bad goes here to the San Antonio Food Bank.
Then we can sort, box, package, get the right doses in the right places at the right time. That type of efficiency has a greater impact than, hey, come sort through whatever's here, and if anything's useful, take it.
It pretty much creates credit for us on their end so that later on, if we need those resources, they can supply us with those things.
What can't be used right here, right now in the disaster aftermath can be used elsewhere, and the food bank gets it there.
The trailers on site are getting filled. Once they're filled, we swap it out with an empty trailer, and we're doing that throughout the Hill Country.
Trucks are running back and forth between San Antonio and the Hill Country daily, and will be as long as they're needed. But in some cases,
we got to the point that we were actually sending shipments directly to the food bank.
Because while donations have been pouring in, a place to store it all has been limited.
It needs to go, but it needs to go at the right pace and the right amount so that you're strategic and efficient and effective.
So that abundance of donations is why so many nonprofits are saying that what is needed right now are monetary donations, so that when the nonprofits identify what victims need and when they need it, they can get it to them, because the need is evolving as we get weeks out, from the actual floodwaters. And I did want to mention something that the food bank told me. There's a number you can call if you need food or if you need help, because there's some changes now in the way that government-funded programs like SNAP might be able to help out in the aftermath of a disaster. So that number is 210-431-8326. Call the food bank. They can walk you through it. We have that information on our website as well.
I liked what Eric Cooper said, strategic and efficient.
Yes, getting it to people who need it at the right time. All right, coming up here, still ahead on the news at 5, San Antonio is getting a new attraction, and it's a giant one. Details on the city's latest entertainment hub and exactly where that will be located.
And I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but we have let Adam Caskey loose this afternoon. Caskey in the wild. He'll have his forecast coming up after the break.
All right, welcome back here live at Santikos Casablanca. We've got some exciting news, speaking of entertainment, when it comes to San Antonio and what's coming our way. Plans for a 200-foot observation wheel have been approved by This image here was shared with us by Icon Experiences. So this is all part of a larger vision to create a buzzing entertainment district in downtown San Antonio. The entertainment hub will be located north of the Alamo Dome and St. Paul Square. Now, in addition to that huge wheel, it will also feature rides in the area, dining spaces, and a miniature golf course.
Nice.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Spruce things up. Get things turning.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Adam Caskey right now.
Seriously.
It is a warm one. We've been saying every day we're like, this July gets more July-like as we go on, Adam.
Yeah. As we go on, and luckily at movie theaters, AC is always nice and cool. I know it's going to feel good inside, so I'll be heading in for the 6 o'clock and, I don't know, go around, have some fun, play some games, maybe a little bowling, a little bit of a good time. So far, the warmest temperature that I've seen at the airport is 99 degrees. It's not official, and it's within the realm of possibility we could still hit 100 today. Tomorrow, I am expecting 100. Actually, that's our top headline. Triple digits tomorrow. That would make it our 4th 100-degree day so far this year, assuming that verifies. The last time was back in May. Rain chances, they return. Isolated in nature and not problematic Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Also, rain, most likely under an inch, no flooding. It's actually along the Gulf Coast where you could have accumulations of an inch or more. That's the way it's looking right now. But I do want to point out our atmosphere lately has been doing what we call overperforming and giving us a little more rain than anticipated. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had some areas of a little bit more than an inch, especially east of I-35 and I-37. Okay, upper disturbance over the Bahamas near Florida, Florida Straits. That's headed our way. This is an upper level system, highly unlikely to have a tropical depression or tropical storm here. This little blip in the flow is going to head our way. Notice it throws the rain chances or the rain onshore by Friday, and then locally, most likely Friday afternoon and evening. And I do think most of the rain would be along the Gulf Coast and some of our eastern counties. That's Lavaca County, DeWitt County, even Goliad, Victoria, Gonzales as well could have a decent splash of rain from this. But you notice with the colors on this map, it's not all that overwhelming quite yet. Most of the rain is going to be Louisiana area, along the Gulf Coast again, 1 to 2 inches in some spots, and that's about it. So it's isolated chances. We're talking 20 to 30% coverage at any point from Friday afternoon all the way through Sunday afternoon. And really the Sunday action, I boosted that to 20% because of just some pop-up rogue random afternoon brief downpours. Now those, on the other hand, could bring a quick 1 to 2 inches in spots. Notice the available moisture in the air. This is a deeper look at the moisture in our atmosphere, and that saturated air with that upper level system moves in, and it's here along and east of I-35 by Friday afternoon, and it's not until Monday when it clears out. At that point, we turn off the rain chances, but just for a few days. Oh, 98 right now, feels like 100 because of that dew point at 64. 102 Port SA, Stinson on the south side, 100 Poteet, Pleasanton, and triple digits. Meanwhile, Comfort at 92 along with Kerrville at this time. So as we go through the evening, we have a nice breeze outside. If you're in the shade, it's tolerable, not all that bad. Look at that east-southeasterly wind at 15. By 7 o'clock, 94, 9 o'clock, we're at 89. And then tomorrow we start the day, as usual, in the mid-70s, about 76 at sunrise. A little bit of cloud cover around sunrise, otherwise total sunshine, bluebird kind of day, 92 at noon, and we are expecting 100 for the afternoon high. Not just San Antonio, but of course, nearby areas, New Braunfels, Hondo, Del Rio. As for Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, Dilley, about 103. Even out near Hallettsville, triple digits. We have temperatures will drop a little bit into the mid-90s because of the extra clouds along with that disturbance that comes in Friday through the weekend. So mid-90s. The average high is 96. We'll be at to slightly below that Friday through the weekend. Good weekend for smoking some meat. I'm splitting wood today, getting ready to fire up the pit. All right, we're going to move inside at 6 o'clock, and Stephen Myra will have more along with sports in just a bit.
good start yesterday. It wasn't a great start. We were a little sloppy with the ball. I didn't think we finished practice great.
Shoddy wasn't all that happy with the Cowboys' first practice. Yesterday's we go camping with KSAT.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
And practice number 2 is in the books for the Dallas Cowboys. Good evening, everybody, and welcome live to Oxnard, California for Dallas Cowboys training camp. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer really wanted his team to practice much better today compared to yesterday. Now, under mostly cloudy skies and a cool 71 degrees, the boys started practice at 11:45 this morning local time. Coach Shoddy wasn't all that pleased with yesterday's practice, and he said his job is to get his guys together, teach them how to practice, and that effort continued today.
I thought the energy was great. I thought that, again, I mentioned too many guys on the ground. I thought it got sloppy late. Our conditioning was a little bit less than what I was hoping for. So I think we'll ramp it up a little bit today, talk to the guys about it. Again, I'm very upfront with the guys. I make it very black and white for them. There's a standard around here how we run the ball, and that wasn't the standard yesterday. We made some adjustments in practice to make it better. It got better, but when you stand up here and you talk about being a championship team, you have a standard of practice. I also tell them this: every practice we throw, we try to do it better than anybody in the world's ever done it. We did not do that yesterday. Maybe we do it today. We'll see. And that's the standard every day that we're trying to reach.
Wide receiver George Pickens is going through his first training camp with the Dallas Cowboys, and it sounds like he's enjoying it so far. After GP was traded to the Dallas Cowboys from the Steelers, he has said multiple times that he just needed a fresh start. And part of that fresh start is teaming up with wideout CeeDee Lamb. Shoddy has told us that Lamb has gone out of his way to welcome Pickens. Here's what George had to say about that.
I feel like, CeeDee's always kind of been that type of guy. You just got to get to know people. So I wouldn't really say like going out of his way. Kind of Dak too, you know what I mean? Just kind of knowing the guys. When you know them personally, then the connection changes.
And we had a Cowboys training camp scuffle today. We got the aftermath for you with that coming up tonight at 6. We'll be right back after the break.
Docks Marina. Here are the boats. Over here, his restaurant, a 2-story, the first story underwater. On November 5th, La Paloma is going up for auction. Starting price, $500,000. The crosses have been moved back, but they're still clearly visible from the road. Part markers, part memorials, part reminders of the 4 people who lost their lives here and why. It's a house that clearly needs repair. But when you talk to neighbors around here, no one will say that on camera. Perhaps in part because of who's making this house, their playpen.
Who is that guy?
He knows what today is, but he did not know that was happening. Today is a very special day. 30 years ago today, Steve Spriester walked into KSAT 12, and here we are 30 years later. You've made an incredible impact and a whole lot of stand-ups.
Thank you. That was just a baby. I'm just a baby in that.
Honestly, other than the outfits, you don't look any different to me. I mean, I want you to, we should bring back those pants and some of those ties, the multiple pleats there.
Of course.
You rocked
there you
it.
go.
Yeah. I think I have a members only jacket that I wear in one of those too.
Did you have a rugby shirt on?
Yeah, probably so.
Gerbo jeans?
Is it Coke?
It's Coke. 30 years at
Can you believe
KSAT
that?
12.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
No.
But, I mean, luckily I have some great people that help me through the entire process, and you guys have been great partners throughout this. And I would just, also the people at home have been so gracious and kind to me and my family. So I'm glad that I'm spending it at a KSAT town hall tonight because I love interacting with our viewers.
Yeah, you're a leader in this newsroom. You always have been. You're going to continue to lead us forward, and I know people are going to be so excited to see you out here and celebrate 30 years.